So, class is in session. Class is in session, and as you may have guessed, discussion today is it's an interesting one, actually, and this is something that a lot of people don't really consider, but also it can be very important too. How you as a streamer, how your chat can actually be hurting your channel. It can also benefit your channel. It can benefit your channel really well, but it can also really, really hurt your channel too. And ultimately, I've got some examples to go through, and we'll chat about the importance of it. I think it's a good one, and there are some prime examples as to why I thought this was an important subject. Now, obviously, chat's very important. Obviously, chat's very important in the fact that a streamer interacts with chat. You know, if streamer doesn't interact with chat, why should chat be there? But this isn't about you as a streamer interacting with chat. I suppose it can be in some elements, but that's not the main point. It's not the streamer has to interact with chat, because that's ultimately why Twitch is popular, is because of that interaction. But this is more about how the culture of your chat, how certain individuals in your chat, the subject matter in your chat, etc., can potentially drive your audience away, or new people to your channel away. It's more about that aspect. It's not necessarily what the streamer's doing. Sometimes it has nothing to do with what the streamer's doing, but what's happening in chat can affect your channel. So it's something a streamer needs to be aware of. So as we all know, chat is a representation of your community. Chat is your community. And how you establish your community is ultimately going to develop, you know, what people talk about in chat, how people react in chat, how people act in chat, which is all part of your community. So jokes and, you know, comments and emotes and, you know, raid messages and reactions to events in the stream, all this sort of stuff. It's all part of your chat and all part of your community. They're heavily tied together. And the purpose of this chat is for you guys as streamers to consider what's happening in chat, whether it's at a certain moment or long term, all the time. How a new viewer to the channel will experience your stream for the first time based on what's happening in chat. So if you think about it, whatever's happening, you know, you're mid-game, there's a whole bunch of activity in chat and stuff. If a new viewer comes in, a lot of the times a new viewer will lurk for, you know, maybe just a couple minutes. What are they gonna think of your channel simply based on chat? And what's happening in chat can quickly drive those viewers away as well. Not just new viewers, it can also drive long-term viewers away. If the culture starts to change based on people in chat, you know, long-time people can start to leave. And I've seen it happen a number of times. I've been driven out of certain channels because the culture shifted and stuff like this. And in the end, I've left. You should be aware of what's happening in your chat, even if not just sort of at every instant, but just the culture, how chat reacts to, say, new people joining the channel, sort of how discussions tend to go in your channel, the tone of your channel, the tone of your chat, the tone of your community. Because, like I said, when a new viewer joins your channel, what new viewers tend to do a lot of the time, even if they're just looking for a minute, if during that minute your chat is very toxic, that's the first impression a new viewer gets in your channel. If they're talking about really weird subjects all the time, that's the first impression that people will get. And it can drive people away, no matter how good your game is, no matter how, like, you know, how entertaining you are as an entertainer, whatever quality stream you've got going, whatever subject matter is you have on the screen, your chat is the next thing that a viewer may take into consideration. Say you're a creative streamer, you know, you're doing some art, and someone's a fan of your art, and they come in and they see it and like, wow, this person's a really great artist. And yet, you know, your chat is going on about like all sorts of inappropriate comments and subject matter and all this sort of stuff. Person's gonna be like, this is kind of a weird place to hang out. I'm out. You know, doesn't matter about your content when your chat's really weird. So not only the impression for new viewers, but existing viewers. Over time, new people will come into the channel. You know, they may become regulars themselves. Over time, you get more and more and more of these people coming in. Say your stream was really positive or really happy, friendly, you know, bit of jokes, that sort of stuff. That sort of tone of the chat. Say these new viewers start coming in, and they're a bit on the toxic side. And the streamer allows them to stay and allows their sort of toxic subjects to continue. More viewers will come in, and they'll notice, oh, there's that toxic person, you know, and they start to be a little bit of toxic themselves, and no one sort of pulls it up. No one sort of pushes it back to the direction of what chat used to be. And over time it builds, you know, maybe existing people start to become a little toxic because, oh, these new guys, they get away with it. And things start to shift, and some regulars who were there for that positive, happy, friendly, joking chat will start to think, well, you know, this place is changing a bit. And over time, they may be driven away because they feel like they're kind of alienated, or this is no longer the same place I used to be. All the content in this chat is all this toxic stuff, and I just want to be happy, cheerful, joking, whatever. And this toxicity is taken over, and so I'm gonna, you know, I no longer have that viewer will no longer have an interest in coming back to the channel, because now when they think of the channel, they go, oh well, I don't really enjoy chat, and if I don't enjoy chat, like it ruins the flavor, it ruins the enjoyment of it, and in the end, it might drive those people away. You as a content creator got to define what kind of content you create. Yes. Got to realize that not everyone will like your content, whether you're positive, toxic, weird. Everyone prefers something else. Some people like toxic channels, some people like positive, some people like weird. That's something you got to be at peace with. You can't please everyone. As long as you set the tone of your channel what you want, it's fine, whether that's more toxic, positive, weird, chill, etc. Yes. It's a good point. And yes, content creator has to set the tone. And that's kind of point of the discussion here is sometimes streamers don't notice the tone changing, or they don't notice the chat content changing. You can't please everyone. And that is something that you have to come to terms with. A lot of new streamers and stuff are trying to do everything to get every different type of person into their channel, because obviously they want as many views as possible and as many followers as possible. But you literally can't have really toxic people in with really like positive people. It doesn't work. Not to mention the type of content you're creating. If you're a really positive person, Sharon, for an example here, like I don't think I've ever been to a stream where Sharon's not like laughing or you know, just very lighthearted or positive in her channel, and that reflects in the chat. And you are garnering a very good community because you reflect that. But things can change in chat, in the community, in the culture that the streamer might not be aware of, or lets continue and doesn't sort of rein that community aspect back to the content that they want. And over time, it develops and it changes. And whether the streamer is aware of it and is too scared to change it because they don't want to lose views or followers or whatever, or they're not aware of it, is a problem. What you're talking about now is actually perfectly fitting of the example you were talking about having. You entered a chat where people made fun of the streamer a lot and picked up on that, eventually becoming an unpleasant person yourself. While he got fed up by the constant negativity multiple times, you also kept feeding the behavior instead of shutting it down. So I'm going to use Bearboo as an actual example here. So the only example I'm going to name, because I've spoken to Bear a number of times about this. Bearboo, if you don't know her, she's a variety streamer. My chat used to be toxic, taking the piss out of you all the time. You had mods taking over your stream and also taking the piss out of you. Yes. So when you first started, Bear, it was, you know, a fairly normal sort of chat and culture and stuff. You know, we'd make fun of you a bit, you know, when you failed in a stream, or, you know, just made a bit of a joke or whatever. But chat was fairly normal, you know. But yeah, over time, people started to, those little digs at you started to be a little more serious, started to be a little bit more toxic. And others caught on with that behavior, especially because some of your mods were doing it as well. Sometimes some of your mods were relentless and would only pick on you in stream ultimately. And of course, when a mod's doing it, that means chat can do it. the more people that came into stream would be like, oh, this is a place to take the piss out of the streamer. And some of it was really bad. And I know you personally, you were starting to get really down about it because every time you streamed, it was just everyone ripping the absolute shit out of you. And you realized it is the thing, because you were getting really discouraged about streaming because of it. Because it's just like, oh, I'm going to go live and people are going to rip the shit out of me. Like, why? What's the point? And you realize that, and you reined it in. You removed some mods, you removed some individuals from the channel, and you ultimately told the community, like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. I'm going to change that behavior. I'm going to clear it up. And now when someone comes in and they try it, you put your foot down. Obviously, you let it happen a little bit. You know, every now and then a joke's funny and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, when it goes too far, now you cut it down. I'm going to take this shit here. Seeing as you're the longest person that watched you on Twitch, how's your stream now compared to what it was? Vastly different, Bear. Vastly different. You're obviously much happier streaming yourself than what you were. Could totally tell before, when it was more on the toxic side where people were really ripping into you. It was very noticeable that you weren't enjoying it. You were streaming and you might be enjoying the game or whatever, but you weren't enjoying the stream because people were ripping you so much, and it would get you down. And by the end of the stream, you're just like uninterested, if that makes sense. But now you're obviously very much enjoying stream. There's so much more interaction, like between you and chat, and you do stomp it down when it passes that line. You do put your foot down and cut it short. There are people who are going to be difficult. They'll come into your channel, and no matter what the culture is of your channel, people are going to come in and they're going to be different to that culture. As a streamer and mods are a big part of this as well. Need to be able to be like, sure, but hey, just like, you know, try and move on. And if they continue, it's like, dude, this isn't the right place for that. There's a lot of support from mods needed here. It's hard, especially for new streamers, to set the tone and be strict, because a lot of viewers will leave your channel if you give them feedback, ask them to stop. But I can tell you, it also depends on how you bring it to a viewer. Yes. When a viewer on your end does something wrong, you're always like, hey, I like you a lot. You're awesome. However, this is what you're doing is really bothering you, and would really wish you would stop it because we want to keep you here. And like you say, start it with a compliment. So there's actually this whole, I'm trying to remember what the book title is. I think it's How to Win Friends and Get Them to Do What You Want. I'd have to look it up later. I'll look it up later, and when I do the YouTube video, I'll put a link in the description and stuff. When you read it, it's very much like it's common sense. And it's just how to treat people nicely to get them on your side. Ultimately, it's very much a book about business, though, and it's like how to get people to work for you and do things for you. But encourage them to do so, get them feeling like they're wanting to do it. But it goes into the whole, like, if someone's doing something that you don't want them to do, like someone in chat not being part of the culture, there's very much an aspect of, like, empower them to want to be that way, to be part of the community. So like you say, start with a compliment, you know, hey, I like you, but, you know, what's happening here isn't really, you know, what I want to hear, but hey, I want you to stick around. It's that whole empowering people to want to act the way that you want to stay in the channel. So, yeah, it's a great point, Sharon. And there is a great book around that whole idea. Like I say, it's more around business, but it's the subject matter behind it is very much on those kind of lines. Giving people a chance is good, since if someone makes a joke that was over the line, it's good to let them know. Yeah, exactly. And don't just ban them off the straight of it. Like in my channel, we've had people come in. I can't remember the last time we actually banned someone who came into the channel and said something inappropriate, but it's not that often. Usually they just don't stick around because we give them a bit of shit back, but a couple have been converted. They've come in and they've tried to joke, and we're just sort of been like, nah. And in the end, they've sort of been like, okay, well, that's not like for this channel. And they've actually kind of stuck around and come back. Another point, so we made the point about new viewers in the channel, what they experience when they see chat, you know, is it can determine the impression they get of the channel and how that can affect them. So it can drive them away if it's a weird chat culture. But also, it's not just the new viewers as well. It's the old viewers. It's the long-term viewers. If a new viewer comes into your channel, and say it's a super positive channel, Say that's exactly what the viewer is looking for, but say everything in chat is inside jokes, references to stuff from way back in the community, or say something in the Discord or other aspects of the community that aren't necessarily in chat. That can also be discouraging for the viewer as well, because the viewer feels isolated or like they're not part of this group. Like it's a very cliquey group. I've come in, you're all making jokes and stuff, and I don't get it. Like, what are you referring to when you're making all these, these references to a clip or a stream or content or movie nights that you have together? You can still have those, obviously. You're going to have those in chat. I'm not saying don't do this sort of stuff. But where nothing else is happening in chat except for these references, a new viewer comes in, they're just going to be like, I'm lost. And they're not going to want to ask a question for every sort of reference and stuff that comes up. So it's maybe something on the streamer's point of view, or maybe the mods or something, to give some reference, to give some explanation. So if something comes up and it's, the whole chat's involved in this discussion about a certain piece and a new viewer comes in, you might want to be like, oh, hey, like, this happened, we've got a clip of it, or hey, jump into the Discord where you'll see some of the backstory, or, have a joke about it, or whatever. Just give that reference to try and include the new person into it. It's kind of like if someone just walks mid-conversation, you're at a party and there's a group of people and someone comes in and you're all having a joke about something. If you want that person to stay, you'd be like, oh, hey, like this guy over here, he did X, Y, Z, and that's what we're all laughing about. Viewers can feel like they're an outsider. Exactly. If there's no reference or understanding, the viewer's just going to feel like an outsider, and why are they going to stay, right? You welcome them in, give them a little bit of reference, but just something to keep an eye on in chat, that if everything is just old references to old material or whatever that new viewers aren't going to see, don't be surprised if new viewers aren't going to feel included and not stick around. Being a moderator on Twitch to big and small streams, you've seen all sorts of fucked up people in Twitch chat. So as a moderator, you do it to support the streamer, so your moderator should support you. You do it for the viewers who want to become a part of the streamer's community, which is also kind of supporting the streamer as well. And you do it for yourself. You want an environment that's toxic free, that you don't go insane. Being on Twitch for 6 years has been an adventure. And Lizzie has actually great experience because she's been a moderator for partnered streamers, or someone who's actually built themselves from smaller to a partnered streamer and stuff. So you've definitely seen the all sorts, because one of those channels I know specifically could be quite interesting at times. Could be quite interesting at times from personal experience, at least way back anyway. Being a mod is a job, and unfortunately in most cases it's an unpaid job, simply because the streamer doesn't earn money to be able to pay mods. But being a mod is a job because you're doing work, and to be a good mod, it is work. Different streams have different ways of modding, so being able to adapt. And this comes down to the kind of culture that the streamer's trying to make, and your mods are meant to support it. So this goes back to the discussion with Bear, is she had a very toxic community, and despite Bear feeling down and beaten up and stuff about it, the mods were supporting that toxic community, ripping into Bear themselves, and haha, and lolling at the people's comments in chat and stuff like this, despite it actually hurting the streamer. So the mods were totally wrong in supporting the bad culture that the streamer didn't even want. And you had to purge a few of those mods and stuff to fix that, because they were just supporting the behavior and doing it themselves. So yeah, modding is a job, but the mods are meant to support the streamer in how they want the culture and the streams to be. You see like new streamers, and they're like, oh, I need some mods. Does anyone want to apply to a mod? I've seen this a lot recently, actually. I need some mods to apply. Just DM me or whatever. It's like, you don't want random people as mods. That's a quick road to disaster. Mods are meant to be people who understand what sort of culture you're trying to support, and understand the responsibilities that they have in trying to keep that going. Because the streamer's occupied. The streamer's trying to stream and produce content and stuff. There's times where a mod's going to see something first, and they need to be able to jump on it and just be like, dude, that's not cool here. But they also have to support the same kind of attitude. Like Sharon's saying, she likes to say, hey, like you want you to stick around, but that's not for this channel. You also want mods who reflect that as well. You don't want heavy-handed mods who just ban as soon as something comes up, because we've seen that as well. We've seen that in some other channels where the slightest little infraction, whether it's a new viewer or an old viewer, and a mod would just ban them. No discussion or anything, no comment, just ban. And that's not supportive for a stream either. I had clashes with other mods before. It's either one or two things. They either follow the rules from another stream they're modding for, they don't know the rules and do things based on what they think or is okay or not. Mods are people who work together to support the stream, yes. So going down the line of mods, it's actually really good that mods get together, that mods have like a mod channel in your Discord or something like that to set some guidelines. You want to support your mods working as a team. So you're, in effect, as a streamer with mods, you're a boss. And the mods are your employees, although you're probably not paying them in most cases. And you want to support them because they're supporting you. So you want to get them together. If there's any clashes between mods or something, you might need to step in and just be like, I need you guys to work together. So if it's one person being really difficult, maybe they're not suited to be a mod, or you need to guide them to work together as a team, because ultimately the better they work as a team, the better they support you, the better they support the culture of your channel. There's trust, and you can trust all your mods and your mods can trust you. But if one mod, say, is heavy-handed compared to the other mods, that can be quite disruptive, because that one mod might be heavy-handed and might ban someone, and the others will go, I wouldn't ban them. And that can become a problem. There's a couple communities that I actually moderate for now, and we've got super inconsistent mods, and it causes clashes between us mods because someone doesn't mod right or someone is heavy-handed, and then you start questioning amongst the mods. It's like, I wouldn't have banned that, I would ban that, and you haven't, and causes that sort of questioning. But then also the community notices it as well, and they're like, these guys aren't consistent. And they then don't trust the mods because they're not consistent. So yeah, a lot of communication and a lot of working with your mods as a streamer to make sure they support the right community and they know what you want in your community, in your chat, in your channel. What kind of lines there might be that you'll tolerate for jokes. It's a team. As soon as you start adding mods into your channel, you become a team. They're there to support you. So you need to work as a team. If you don't work as a team, it doesn't work. Mods should be people you trust, people who understand your community, people who understand what you're trying to achieve in regards to your channel and your content. So I've actually seen a channel where the streamer's actually serious. The streamer's trying to build something. They want to become a full-time streamer. They're trying to, build a business ultimately. They're serious about it. They're trying to grow. And yet one of their mods is they're only on Twitch for the social aspect. They don't understand making it a professional thing. And all they're going to do is mod when like trolls come in, or they're not going to support the streamer, or they don't understand that the streamer is trying to take this seriously and trying to grow it. So they don't have the same mindset about what we need to do to improve the channel, or how we need to treat chat and the community and stuff to take this seriously. They're just here, I'm just here casually, I'm just going to ban a few people here and there and whatever, make some jokes in chat, blah, blah, blah. And it can actually hurt the channel. So yeah, you want someone who understands what you're actually trying to achieve. If you're just there socially, fine, then just have some social mods or whatever. It's better to have no mods than the wrong mods. Yeah, modding is a job. It's not a job many can do well, yes. There's a reason why you average 150 plus viewers and only have 3 mods. Exactly. And this goes back to Sharon, your comment about, or my comment about your channel, how you've got such a nice community. You don't really need a lot of mods, and you've got so many viewers. And like I say, when I jump into there, you've got like 150, 200 odd people in your channel, and I still feel welcome, and I still feel like it's a nice place to hang out. So the fact you've done that is a bit of a testament to how well you've built that community. So, Bear's comment here. Someone you know who's having issues with one of their mods, who was actually one of the mods that Bear got rid of that we were talking about before, because they've let their channel be overrun with toxic negative discussions that brings in basically idiot people that don't have anyone to mod either, and it's hard. They don't have anyone else to mod either, I'm assuming is what you mean there. So I know the channel you're talking about, and I know the situation. And the mod involved here is also very heavy-handed on some aspects, but then they support the wrong aspects as well. Now, this is a strong point of what I wanted to bring up in this chat. Is this channel is apologies. This channel is one that I've been in long term. Great streamer, great person. They have very nice content, and used to stick around their channels all the time. Lovely place to be. And there's a lot of common people that, you know, I've met in other streams, and you know, we share a lot of common viewers and stuff. However, it's been a slow thing over time, but you know, very positive community, very nice to hang out in, you know, joking, all this sort of stuff. And over time, people have come in who, trying to think about the best way to put this, who all they want to do is complain. All they want to do is complain about how hard their life is, you know, the hard situations of their life, ultimately being Debbie Downers. Let's put it that way. Some of the things they're complaining about are legitimate, and that's okay. You know, I'm not saying viewers can't come in and complain. That's fine. And you can have these chats with people and all this sort of stuff. But these people would come in, and all they would do is fill up chat about whatever it is in their life aspects. Negative Nelly or Debbie Downer, whichever, and they complain about their life. And the streamer being a very nice person, they would start to speak to the person in chat about this problem, start offering solutions, start going through it. And this would sometimes interrupt the entire aspect of the stream. So the streamer might be playing a game, and all of a sudden it's like game's on pause, and we're going to spend the next 20-30 minutes talking to this one person in chat about, you know, whatever problems it is that they're complaining about. And Jasper, if a viewer has a rough day, ignoring them is the worst. Yes. A lot of viewers come to Twitch for escapism, or getting away from their troubles. You know, it's a place to hang out, your friends, and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, sure. You know, you have a bad day and you want to talk to someone about it. That's fine. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm not telling a streamer to ignore a person who's having a bad day. But this particular stream, you know, you'd get this person in and they would take up 20-30 minutes of the stream time talking about whatever the problem is. Some of them were real problems. Some of them were like, you're kind of just complaining about everyday life. But because the streamer was allowing that to happen and would take so much of the stream time for it, more of these people would start to show up to the channel because they saw that, hey, you know, that person's getting all that attention. I'm going to come in, I'm going to start complaining about, you know, my day as well, or my life aspects, or all this sort of thing. Now, over time, the streams have become entirely dominated by people complaining, people being negative. So it's not just complaining. It's not just, you know, I've had a bad day. The tone's very much shifted. So these people are just negative about all sorts of stuff, whether it be politics, healthcare, just their life, their job. And just slowly over time, chat has evolved into people complaining about themselves. So the person will come in and they'll start complaining about something in their life, right? The streamer will put time to it. And everyone in chat is complaining about their life, if that makes sense. It's just all about their complaints. There's no real interaction between each one. So, you know, someone has a bad day. It's not so much about other people supporting that person. Everyone's just now complaining about their own aspects. And now the streamer's fully involved in trying to deal with each individual person's problem. And the whole tone of the stream has changed. And personally, I haven't gone back to this channel for months because I can't stand the tone of chat anymore. Streamers still lovely. Their content is also very lovely when they're actually, like, you know, into the content. But because of the tone of chat, because it's just people complaining about their aspects of their lives and they're not supporting each other. It's just like a place for everyone to complain about themselves or their lives or what's going on with them. It's not a supportive community anymore. It's just a place for people to voice their problems, and it's not enjoyable to be in whatsoever anymore. So I've ultimately not been going in, because every time I think of that channel, while the streamer is great, I don't want to go in there, because it's just going to be, as Bear said, it's people whining. And some of it's legitimate. Some of people have had legitimate, bad days or bad situations or whatever. Some of it is just people whining. And that's all I associate with the channel anymore. Despite the person still being lovely, despite their content being great when they're actually producing the content. But the chat drives me away. And it's driven a few regulars from way back in that channel away as well. I've spoken to a few of them and they're like, can't stand chat anymore. Can't stand what the channel's become. And it's one of the key points is to drive me to do this subject, because it's a real pity to see. And the problem is the streamer is a really, really nice person, and all they want to do is help people, but they haven't reined it in, I guess you could say. They, while you can help people, while you can chat people and stuff and support them and, help them out, it's all the stream is anymore. And they just let it dominate, and it's taken over. And instead of like trying to, I'm sorry you're having a bad day, whatever, and move on from it a little bit. Streamers that when you had a rough day, they would tell you, if you want to talk about it, message in Discord, or can do a long chat after stream and stuff like that. Absolutely. And that's one technique you can do for sort of moving on, the conversation and stuff, because ultimately streaming is entertainment. We've said this before. Streaming is entertainment. Could ask this of everyone in chat, actually. Would you be interested in joining a stream where all you heard about was the streamer dealing with people's problems? Say it's a game stream, right? Someone's playing a game, but would you want to join the stream if all the content was the streamer trying to help someone with a problem? Someone else. Stream is entertainment. Right? People come to the stream for entertainment. They don't come to a stream to listen to the streamer deal with someone else's bad day. It's just something to be aware of. Absolutely not. You've been in them before? Yeah. Of course not. Hell no. It would get old fairly quickly. Yes. And this is what I mean about this one particular channel I'm talking about, and it's happened in others as well, is while the streamer's lovely, while their content's lovely, everything in chat is people whining about their own individual problems. It's not even chat supporting each other through these problems. It's just each person is going, I've had a bad day. My life sucks. I had a cold shower today because the boiler's broken. My kids are being annoying. If it was a case of like one person has a bad day and the rest of chat's like, I'm sorry to hear that, or offering help and all this sort of stuff, then that's a different situation. But when it's just everyone complaining about their own problems, it just becomes it's a complaining place or a whining place, and it's not enticing to anyone, except for the people who just want a voice. So discussions I've had with other people from this channel who are no longer enjoying it is the channel has become a place for other people to voice their displeasure. They're not actually seeking a solution. They just want a place to go to vent. They don't care if they get they're not actually there for a solution. They don't, they don't want a solution, or they don't want support, or they don't care if anyone cares. They're just going there to just, yell their life problems and just, get it out there. Whether they're doing it for attention, whether they're actually unhappy, whether they are actually having problems or whatever is a different subject. But that's all the channels become. One thing you can recommend is, this is a tactic you use when you worked with kids. When you see someone doing good behavior, you compliment it. Yeah. If you see a viewer saying hi to others, thank them for doing it. Yeah, you're awesome. See someone support someone in a way, you tell them to appreciate them. And if you compliment them, others are like, I want to get complimented. Yes, it's in a very base way, it's attention seeking, right, Sharon? Like, ooh, ooh, streamer will acknowledge me and compliment me and stuff. Yes, it's very true. And this comes down to the streamer supporting the behavior that you want, as well as the mods. So the mods can also do this as well. this particular streamer who has this, I'm going to call it a whingy stream, but that's just, I just want to narrow it down to a term here. A person who has this stream where it's people complaining and people talking about their problems and all this sort of stuff. They also have this overly heavy-handed mod who bans or times out for the slightest infraction, but also doesn't support these people who are voicing their problems and all this sort of stuff. They ultimately just lurk, and then when there's a slight infraction, they ban or time the person out, or they're just not very helpful. Sometimes they do respond to these people in chat, but it's never helpful comments, and it's just created this culture that's not enjoyable. And the streamer themselves is getting discouraged recently because their viewer numbers have dropped from what they used to be. They're not growing and such. And people have spoken to the streamer and said, look, chat's not an enjoyable place. Your mod's not supporting you. We're not supporting what you want out of the channel. This is ultimately what the problem is it's not an enjoyable place because of XYZ, because of, the tone and all this sort of stuff. And the streamer hasn't changed that. I don't know whether that's due to fear, because ultimately, if you then started to stamp down on this culture of the sort of people coming into chat and all this sort of stuff, you're probably going to lose viewers, right? Because you're no longer providing that place for them to vent. But are these the viewers you want? That's something the streamer needs to consider. Are these the viewers you want? Because they're developing this culture, or the culture is now there. It's now established. You're probably going to lose viewers, but it depends on what you want on the channel. If you want the channel to continue how it is, then it's going to continue how it is. But if you want to change that, if you want to look at growth, you need to start considering that your chat is hurting your channel. And you, like Lucius has said, short-term pain for some long-term gain. It's unfortunately an aspect of it. It's similar to what Bear had to do for her channel, where it was a bit toxic and stuff. I believe you lost a few viewers because you started stamping down on the behavior, and that was the behavior that those certain viewers wanted. And now because you're not going to tolerate it, they're going to leave. Well, that might be something you have to deal with. We always try and remind people when they mention they're down or had a bad day, struggling at the moment, and the reason they've come here is to forget about the troubles they're having. We're here to cheer them up, so try not to worry about troubles for now. That's a perfect way of doing it. It's a perfect way of going on. It's a perfect way of acknowledging it. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but hey, chill out my channel. Let's have some fun playing a game, or try and do something to move it along. Try and move past the subject. I'm not saying ignore their troubles. Like someone else has said, hey, if you want to chat, there's always Discord. But if you're wanting to take your streaming seriously, you are entertainment. If you want to watch drama, you go to Jeremy Kyle or something like that. Unless, of course, you wanted your stream to be like Jeremy Kyle. That's fine. That's what you're going for. But other people are not here to watch drama. They're not in my channel for drama. So if someone started creating drama, I'd be like, dude, I'm sorry, but let's go to Discord, speak to you after the stream, or in DMs or whatever. But hey, let's play some games or something. Move that conversation along. But again, like I've said before, this is all my opinion and stuff, and it's sort of generalizations. It depends on the type of content you're wanting to do. It depends on the type of culture you want in your channel. So take it or leave it. This is just, I never find a stream where chat is nothing but, depressive or down or whingy or whatever. I never find that entertaining. And I don't think many people do, unless they want to just voice their own opinion. Unless they want to voice their own troubles or whatever and get it out and they want venting, then they might want it, but generally it's more about themselves than it is about anyone else. Find there's a time and a place for them. You're open to discuss these things briefly if someone says something, but it's brief response. You don't let it become the stream. That's just it. Don't let it become the stream. So the particular channel that I'm talking about has let it become the stream. And that's kind of the streamer's nature. They're a very nice person. They always want to help. You know, they want to support people. If someone's having a bad day, you know, they want to give them a hug and be like, you know, I'm sorry to hear that, you know, etc. They're that, just, that's their personality. They're a very helpful, nice person like that. But you have to realize, if you are that type of personality, you have to realize what you're doing on a stream. You know, it's entertainment. Stream is entertainment. It's interaction with others, not just this one person, right? If you want to give that person one-to-one time, do it after the stream. Be like, I'm really sorry, you know, let's go to DMs. I'll give you a call after the stream. There's that, you know, give them the acknowledgement they want, but move it on from the stream. You don't let it become the stream. How many times you might have heard it as a streamer, it's hard to lose viewers and change the way you work with streams. It is, Jasper, it is. It is. But it depends on what you're wanting to do with your stream. Yeah, Jasper, this isn't easy. And especially if you're a smaller or a new streamer, every viewer is important, right? Every viewer is really important. Say you've only got 5 average, you lose 1. Shit, now I've only got 4. That's a huge impact. But you have to think, if you want to take it seriously, if you want to get to the point where you've got 500 people in your chat, what do you want that chat to be like? When you've got 5 and 3 of them are toxic, right? And say just are talking or doing things that you don't really support. Imagine having 500 people in your chat and 300 are that way. If you make it to 500 viewers, that is, with the kind of chat and culture that you've got, if you make it that far, it's only going to keep compounding because new viewers are going to come in and see what the majority of the chat is like, and it's going to grow. Like, you know, people coming in and go, I don't want a toxic chat. This chat is toxic. I'm out. Whereas the toxic ones will come in and be like, yeah, this is a place to talk shit. You know, and it's this, you know, scale of numbers really. So yeah, you have to nip it in the bud early to develop the culture that you want. You have to think about, if I had 500 viewers at my chat, if I'm taking this seriously and I want to make this a job, and I want to do this seriously and I want to develop something out of this, what do I want the culture to be? Do I want it to be toxic? And if you do, if you don't mind it, by all means, do it. Whatever. Similarly, if you want a toxic community and someone's being nice, be like, you're too nice for this community. You know? So I keep saying, like, if you want a nice community or something, but that's what I want for my community. So by all means, consider what you want from your community, whether you want it to be, say, if you want it to be seriously political, if you want to have a lot of political discussions, and someone comes in and goes, politics is shit, well, you don't really fit in. You know, you can join the discussion, you can tell us why politics are shit. Similarly, if you don't want a political chat, I try and avoid politics altogether. But if someone comes in and keeps on going about politics, it's a very heated discussion topic. That's generally why people avoid it. And it tends to cause a lot of arguments and stuff. If someone keeps coming in and talking about politics, imagine, you know, someone new comes into your channel and you've got this regular who keeps ranting about how much they hate or love Trump. I'm using Trump as an example because it's a very heated topic. Viewer comes in, they don't want politics, but there's someone in chat who's just dominating with their talk about, you know, how much they love Trump, blah, 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 and it's just filling up the chat, and, you know, they're calling non-Trump supporters haters and all this sort of stuff. What's it going to look like to a new viewer coming into your channel? And the streamer's just letting it happen, and the mods are just letting it happen. What's it going to do for new viewers? What if you have a long-term viewer, say you've been streaming for a couple of years, and someone hasn't come to your stream in a year, and they come back, and the culture that you had a year ago was no politics, and they come back and all of a sudden it's like the chat's filled with this person ranting on about politics. They're going to go, this place has changed. Not going to come back. So yes, changing it is hard if you have to change it. If you don't nip it in the bud early and develop the type of community that you want, changing it is very tough, and there's probably going to be some impact. You're probably going to lose some viewers, but you have to think about the long term. what you want, what sort of culture you want. So like using Baraboo as an example here, she took, I think it was a week out, when she realized that she needed to make a change in her community because the direction of things had gone away from what she wanted, and she needed to change it. I believe that she took a week out, maybe 2, from streaming and everything, and she purged the mods that were not supporting her. She gave options to the rest of the mods and just been like, I'm changing. You're going to support this, or you're not, and you won't be a mod. This is what I want. And she started pushing it in her Discord as well, just to be like, you know, changing the channel up. And the first few weeks of starting her streams back was probably the toughest, because the regulars who knew this behavior were coming in and were trying a comment or two, and she's just like, nope, I'm no longer taking this. I'm no longer accepting this kind of behavior. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to support. And some of those people haven't come back. But her channel hasn't grown significantly since she changed it to what she wanted. She's seen great growth. She's seen great support and some great success since she changed it up to the culture that she wants in her channel. And she continues to support it. She continues to back it. Her mods do. It just shows how much of a difference it can make. A streamer you've been following a long time has some pretty questionable people in their chat, and that's the reason you tuned out for a long time, so it really is a problem. Yeah, and that's just it. And I'm doing this because I've actually been turned off several streams because of the culture has changed, because it's become something I don't enjoy. And in some cases, the streamer hasn't even noticed. I've spoken to them later, and they've just completely been oblivious to it. Whereas some have recognized it, and some have supported the culture change, and they either haven't contacted me because I haven't been in their channel for a while, or we just don't talk anymore, or they're just like, well, that's what my channel is. You know, I'm doing the stream for the people who may not think about it, who may not be aware. You need to be aware of how your culture's going, how chat's going, and just think about how new viewers or something could be affected by it. Don't know if that's how it goes right now, but if you're a mod and you notice stream becoming worse because the streamer's taking these problems from viewers into stream, they should also let the stream know. Yes, and that comes back to how mods should support the channel. If a mod is a good mod, they'll understand the culture and things that the streamer wants out of the channel. And a good mod will notice how that might start to shift. Certain new people are coming into the stream, conversations are starting to change, culture starting to change, or say the streamer who's predominantly a gamer is now starting to take a lot of time out of the game to speak to these people in chat. A good mod would recognize that and go back to the streamer, DMs in a mod sort of channel or whatever. Just be like, hey, some of these new people coming into chat, they're not really what the community's been. You know, the general voice is changing a little bit. You're taking a lot of time out of games. You know, things are changing a little bit. Is this what you want? Are you okay with that? Have you noticed? That's a good mod, is noticing that it's changing and just bringing it up. If the streamer's fine with that, then okay. Then we know we can let this continue. Maybe come back to them later if it's, you know, gets a little worse or it continues on a little while. A good mod will notice regulars that are no longer coming back into chat. Used to have a lot of, you know, this person used to be in here every day. They're not showing up so much. Hit up the streamer. Hey, have you noticed that these guys aren't here anymore? Do you know why? Have they said anything? They're not in your Discord either. So it's that supportive teamwork between mods and the streamer. Yeah, and sometimes it can be subtle, like this particular channel I'm talking about with the whingy streams is what I call them. The particular streamer with the whingy streams, it's been this very slow, gradual shift over time. So it wasn't apparent at first. It wasn't until, you know, a few months in that I really started to be like, this really isn't enjoyable anymore. There's all these new people that are just whingy and I don't enjoy it. And so I slowly stopped coming to the channel. I'd still come to the channel, you know, and I slowly just started phasing it out until, you know, I realized I hadn't been to the channel in 2 weeks. So I pop in and I go, oh my God, this is like so whingy. I can't stand it for 5 minutes anymore. I'm out. Similarly, not so much a whingy stream, but there's a channel that I used to be in a long time ago, and I was a mod for the channel. I was in there every day. I was in there all stream. They were a full-time streamer. Every day, all stream. I was a mod for them for a good while, 18 months, something like that, in the streams all the time. And then there was a change in work, and so I couldn't be in the streams very often. And I used to sub to them, I sub to them religiously every month and all this sort of stuff. And then work changed, and I couldn't be in the streams any longer. And I can't remember how long time went by. It was a while before I got the chance to jump into their streams again, and I jump in. And the first reaction I get, like, streamer said, hey, it's been a long time. I even messaged them privately to say, like, I'm not going to be able to be in the streams much longer, or as I was because of work changed, blah, blah. Anyway, when I did come back to the stream, the first reaction was from chat, why are you not a sub anymore? And the streamer actually hooked onto that, and they made a joke of like, oh, why are you not a sub anymore? And I just got pounced on ultimately by chat about why I was no longer sub when I hadn't been in the channel for something like 6 or 9 months. And, at the time, I didn't have the sort of money to sub to someone that I wasn't really watching at all. And that was like, dude, this is not the culture that used to be in this channel. I wouldn't be pounced upon. I'd be welcomed previously, Anyway, I was only in there for like 5 minutes, left. Came back like a week later, exactly the same response. Why are you not a sub? Like, it seemed to be the only thing that mattered was the fact that I was a subscriber in the channel. I was like, I'm not going to sub to a channel that I'm not in. And I went back a third time. I got the exact same response. Haven't been back to the channel since. Because every time I went into the channel, chat just attacked me for not being a subscriber. And it wasn't so much a joke either. And it was sustained as well. It was just like, channel's just about being a sub now. I'm out. And it's similar about the brand talk that we had last time as well. What is your brand? Have you actually put any thought into what your brand is? Similarly, have you actually noticed what your chat's doing? How it might be affecting people? You wonder why new viewers don't stick around. They come into the channel, they're there for 5 minutes, they leave. Maybe it's your chat. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your chat. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. Being able to recognize it versus deal with it are two very separate skills. People can have both, one or none. Yes. First, you have to recognize it to deal with it. And this is the point of the stream is, hey, this is something you should really consider. Similar to the brand, similar to the question in our first stream talk of why do you even stream? What's the drive behind it? Why are you doing it? What's your purpose? Some people don't know why. Some people don't know what their brand is. Similarly, have you noticed what could possibly be affecting new streamers or new viewers, or what could be affecting long-term viewers? Are you noticing that your long-term viewers are no longer sticking around? Is it possibly your chat? Is it other things? This is just one aspect to consider. You just feel obligated to say problematic behavior is also a pretty broad term, which all comes back to the culture the channel desires. Yes. Like I keep saying, it depends on the culture you want in the channel. Problematic behavior can just be anything that's not the culture that you want in your channel. So, like I say, if you want a toxic stream, but someone's coming in trying to be all positive and trying to tell you or tell people not to be toxic and stuff, you got to tell them, like, this is my channel, this is the culture I want, this is what I want out of it. If you want a political, discussion chat, and someone comes in and goes, politics are stupid, well, this is a political discussion chat, or political friendly chat. But also, if you want a nice, positive chat, and someone comes in being a dick, you got to go, dude, this isn't in place for that. But if you let that person get away with the behavior, other people will then see that, and other people will come in and they'll be like, oh, well, that person gets away with it, so I will. And it compounds and it compounds, and some of your regulars might go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to start acting like that as well because they get away with it. And it compounds, and it can completely change the culture of a chat. And long-term people who don't like the change will leave, and new people coming into the channel won't like the new culture, and they'll leave. And then as a streamer, your numbers might start to wane. Or you realize, like, after whatever period of time, like, this is not like what it used to be anymore. So it's something to keep an eye on. Just be aware that New people coming in can change the culture. Old people in the channel can change the culture. We've had problematic people in my channel. Who we could be having an entirely positive channel, entirely positive stream, and someone comes in and just is completely toxic, and it just changes the entire nature of the stream. It bums me out, which can change the entire feeling of the stream, change the energy to it. But people in chat, bro, and if you let it continue, people in chat will be like, this isn't what I want, and they'll leave. Viewer numbers drop. And if you let it continue, they'll be like, oh, well, he's letting this person get away with it. I thought this place was different. Personally, a number of the friends that I play games with are very toxic, and I'm not. I'm a casual gamer, but we're just friends for other reasons. But when they play games, they're super toxic, and they swear and they smash and all this sort of stuff. And they are exactly what I don't want in my channel. Happy to play games with them off stream. It can be a bit of fun, but their personalities and stuff are not mine. And they're not the sort of people I'd want establishing the community in my streams. And some of the people that I started streaming with originally, they're gamers, and we've got that in common. That's why we were friends, because we're gamers and we like all sorts of different games, and we've played some games off stream and stuff. But what they're like on Twitch is not the sort of community or the type of behavior that I want to support in my channel. While we began streaming sort of together and we'd support each other and stuff, in the end, I had to separate myself from them because they were not supporting what I wanted in regards to a community. And I had to distance myself. And that hurt because we shared a few mutual viewers. Those mutual viewers liked what the other person had personality-wise and culture-wise and all this sort of stuff. And so they don't come to my channel anymore. So it hurt. But I didn't want that culture in my channel. So I had to make that sacrifice. And it was a tough one. And it took me weeks to actually sort of build up the courage and sort of actually start actioning that separation. Would I still play games with them off stream? Sure. Would I want them in my chat, in my channel, on voice chat for a game? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So your point might work for some instances. Absolutely. If the other people understand what you're trying to do with your channel, if they understand what you're trying to do with the culture of things, by all means, yes. In my personal opinion, not always. So it's just something to be aware of. On multiple occasions, had a channel ruined for you by the behavior of the chat in general, or by specific people. Mostly it's by people who think the whole stream is about them, spam questions, try to attract all the attention to the streamer and chat. Hard thing is that most mod streamers only catch parts of the behavior, and those are not so bad. So they don't get punished. Maybe you're not a people's person, but sometimes you notice it can be it can bring a whole chat down. 100%. Before you came in, Miss Fairy Violet, I have an exact example of this. A stream I really enjoyed, a streamer I really love. She's a great person. Content is great, but chat has driven me away because it's full of people wanting attention for themselves, turning the whole subject of the stream to themselves, wanting attention, whinging about their bad day, changing everything about chat and the interactions, even the content, because the streamer gets interrupted and spends half an hour giving this person the attention they want, to the point where it's driven me away from the channel. Still love the person, still enjoy their content when chat's not involved, but the entire culture, the entire nature of the channel has changed because of these people over time, and it's just driven me away, and it's really sad. But it's one of the main drivers for me doing this subject. That's why I brought up the question, because the individual involved is sad because their viewership's dropping, their channel's not growing, and they're like, why? Because they haven't realized how much chat is affecting it. I think it's a pretty common problem on Twitch. You've also encountered people make up problems or sad stories just to get the attention, but bringing it all down with them just for some attention and virtual hugs. You can't wrap your brain around this, and some streamers are always nice, trying to cheer people up or being supportive. Yes, it is a common problem on Twitch, Miss Fairy Violet, and there's a couple reasons for it. Twitch is a hugely popular platform. Twitch, or when I say Twitch, live streaming. Live streaming is a hugely popular platform because of interaction, because of interaction. That's the reason why Twitch and live streaming is super popular. You get to watch entertainment and you get to interact with people directly. You know, I refer to streamers similar to actors a lot because there are a lot of similarities. We're creating entertainment. If we're taking it seriously, when you're thinking about streaming seriously, you're creating entertainment for people. Whatever entertainment encompasses, whether it's escapism, it's funny, it's action, or whatever, we're creating entertainment. And imagine being able to watch your favorite TV show with your favorite actors, and you could interact with them directly. It's an amazing concept, and that's why live streaming is so popular. It is starting to shift to a point where it's almost people are seeing streamers as actors. Dr. Disrespect, for example, when he is actually streaming, is a huge personality. He's popular, right? He's a celebrity. Imagine being able to interact with him. It's this whole mindset. And so, you know, there are people that write into movie stars and stuff for attention. There are people who stalk movie stars, etc., for attention. Similarly, people will make up stories to try and get attention from their favorite streamers. Or just get attention because the show then becomes about them. People would love to be able to walk on a TV show and it'd all be about them. It's similar. Let's shift the attention of the stream to me because I like attention. And people will try it. And it's up to the streamer and the mods to, you know, depending on the culture that you want in your channel, I must admit, depending on the culture you want, you need to control that. You know, if they don't realize it, this is the whole point of this actual stream is notice it. As a streamer, pay attention to it. You might not notice how it's affecting things. You know, you could have a really terrible chat. Despite your content, despite your personality, despite you as the streamer, it could be driving people away. So this is more just a like, hey, it's a big factor about your channel. Think about it. Think about a first impression of a new viewer coming into your channel. What does that bring? New viewers never seen your content before. They come in, sure, you're playing a game or doing whatever, but what's the feeling in chat? If someone's in here for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, what sort of feeling are they going to pick up? Is it going to be completely toxic? Is it going to be really welcoming? Is it going to be nothing but drama? It could be completely different to your actual content that you're doing on stream. And how's that going to affect new people coming into your channel for growth, but also long-term followers, viewers? If you've been streaming for, say, 3 years and your first-year followers who have stuck with you this entire time, notice, are they not showing up anymore? Do they come in for 5 minutes and they leave instead of being in stream all the time? Do they not show up? Why? Have things changed? Has the culture changed now? You could even message them, hey, notice you don't come to my stream anymore. Really miss you. What is it? Could be that they're busy and, you know, things have changed. They don't go on Twitch anymore or whatever. But they might come back and be like, community's changed. It's no longer what I enjoy. You may not notice it because it may happen over time, but it's an aspect to think about. You know, it can discourage it. Not to mention they might be long-term people and they're just sick of this person's shit. And so they stop coming back because of this one individual in chat who's constantly disruptive. So just something to consider. It's not just all chat or most chat. It can be one person. Guys, I'm going to have to draw this to a close. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I could talk about these subjects all day, but I do have to get other things done. So I will have to draw it to a close. We'll give a bit of a raid to someone. We'll see who's on at this time of day. But appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully I've managed to make some sense. There's more to the subject we could go on about as well. I can only put so much time in. I'll cut this up into the highlights. I'll put it on YouTube. You can see our previous Stream Talk episodes on YouTube as well. Just put !YouTube in the channel if you want to get the link. You can also join my Discord. The Discord, we've got a special Stream Talk channel where we talk about the subjects that we cover in here, as well as potential future subjects, as well as questions, feedback, opinions, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you want to talk more about these things, by all means, jump into the Discord. As I've said a number of times before, my whole intention for these is to help every streamer, new or old, expand and grow the quality of their channels, because if we all improve the quality of our channels on Twitch, the platform itself gets a better reputation, and that benefits us all. That's my whole intention. If we all just improve just a little bit more, if we gain something just a little bit more, if we enjoy it just a little bit more, And Twitch as a platform as a whole improves, and that benefits everyone. That's my goal.